Welcome to From Pitch to Pontoon.
Hi, I'm Andrew.
I'm Lisa.
And I'm Calum, and welcome to this week's episode of From Pitch to Pontoon. How are you both doing today?
Very well, thank you, Calum. Very
Good,
well.
thank you.
Beautiful. We've just celebrated our happy 10-year anniversary.
We have.
Have you recovered from the party?
Yes, just.
I peaked early, so I was okay. I got like afternoon day drinking done, and then I went to bed at a normal time, so I was actually quite okay. I was
well
proud
done
of
you.
myself.
I didn't know that.
Didn't come out to any after party. I was in bed by 11.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Andrew, were you in bed at 11?
No, I was in bed at 2:30.
Okay.
But I did have a little nap when we went back to the room. So fell asleep
That's
on the bed.
dangerous.
Little disco nap.
Yeah. I don't know how I managed to get up, but I did. Got up, got in the shower and back at it.
Kept going. So we're celebrating 10 years of the Dynamics, 10 years of innovation, 10 years of the technological advancements that have been made, both with ourselves and through Microsoft. So I thought today might be a really good opportunity to put the ball firmly in Mrs. Alexander's court. Sorry, stand corrected. To talk about product and the future of what the art of what is possible. We talk about it quite a lot as a concept, but what that actually means in reality. So what I've done is I've went away and looked at what Microsoft are currently researching. So disclaimer, none of this technology is currently available to you or your solution currently, but we're going to look at it as if it were coming in the same way we would do with any sort of new updates that were coming down the track, and see how they might apply to a marina or a park setting once they get here. Hopefully pretty soon, because some of them are pretty cool, some of them are pretty wild.
We like the wild ones. They're the best.
We do like the wild ones.
I think, and the wildest one, I think, would have the biggest impact for our customers as well. So hopefully we can get that going. But we're going to start with something that has been termed I can't even say it. Holoportation.
I don't even know what that means. Explain.
Let me tell you.
Holoportation.
So it's effectively taking you as you are and putting you into the real world. Have you ever watched like Star Wars, Star Trek, any of those things where the person appears, they buzz up and they're like, hello, but they're not physically there? That's essentially what Microsoft are currently researching. The ability to actually be able to bring someone into a room 3D.
So like a Teams call, but 3D, essentially. Is that what we're talking about here?
No. So imagine you're in your house right now.
Can you smack them?
That would make meetings go much differently.
It would, wouldn't it?
A little bit like Celebrity Deathmatch. No. So effectively, you would appear as if you were stood in the room as a life light.
Like a hologram.
Mm-hmm. Exactly that. Holoportation. So you're transported from where you currently are to where you need to be. So what would that look like if we were to bring that technology into elite marinas or elite parks? And what impact would that have for our customers?
And is that... So there's similar stuff out there, isn't there? Because obviously you've got VR headsets where, you're not physically there, but you would obviously not physically there in this either, where you can, simulate your surroundings.
So
my son has one of those. It's horrific. Do any of your kids have that, Andrew?
Yes,
VR thing.
And that one when they walk off the plank. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
it's crazy.
God. And they actually, when my daughter actually punched my son square in the face.
That had nothing to do with the reality. She just seen an opportunity.
It was turned off at the time.
It causes problems. That's why I was talking about, can you hit them? Because that's where my head went with that.
No,
sorry.
So it's the opposite to that.
Exactly. So rather than you bringing the augmented reality around you, it's putting yourself into the situation. So you could effectively, I could be sat here at home now, but stood in the reception.
So I could be in reception and I could look around and I could talk to the customer. I could see I'm not just there. I'm not just
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. You could use that in all sorts. What if you were like doing your dishes though, and you got like teleported to
I know, yeah.
You get called in.
in the shower? Oh no!
You thought a Teams call was terrifying. Can you imagine being you're just automatically projected into reception area? I'm like, oh yeah. You snuck off.
I mean, it's good, but
yeah, and I think this goes, again, talking about other examples is where obviously again it's not quite the same, but field service did it, didn't they? Where, for example, an engineer's trying to fix a boiler, and then you can, they can sort of jump in, or someone back at the office is able to then.
But in that instance, then, do you need the field officer? Because you could effectively project your office person straight in, no travel time, no nothing. So you can talk the customer through how to fix an issue with whatever it is to try to fix.
Buy it as well. Like, could you do that via you're out looking at somebody's boiler? Oh, hang on, I need to get Big Steve. Big Steve is the only one that knows how to fix this problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, bring him into
Here's Big Steve.
Yeah.
It's
interesting.
cool.
It's because, of course, we've seen this in films and things, haven't we? Where they do it. So yeah, it'd be interesting of where that goes, and is the technology there and the device that you need to be able to do it, and because it's going to need a device, it won't be able to work from.
Of course. So they're currently trying to do it with what they're calling a HoloLens. So a little bit like you'd obviously need a lens in, but see how quickly technology moves. If you had that on your phone, you've got that is proper Star Wars. They have the little person and talking to the little person on the phone.
I just see this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle thing where they have that shell and they
push the button.
That's all I could see right now, pure jets and stuff.
So how would you feel if use reception a little bit as an example? So imagine, how would you feel if you turned up with your boat or with your caravan onto Park and Marina, and you walked into reception, nobody there, and then all of a sudden, bing, here's the hologram of a real person who's not physically there.
I think it's weird, I have to say. Sorry, but
I'm going down that road, and I think it has its place. I definitely think that. I think there's definitely where that there's definitely places where I could see it being used, to assist, or they're not there, but to replace, definitely not. I don't think it's an area to replace. Contactless check-in and things was one thing, but then having no people at all, holograms everywhere.
Yeah, I mean it's cool, but I think like we're all literally the way my brain goes to it. I don't know if we're quite at that level yet. I see that as something that's like almost not ridiculous. That's the wrong word, but.
Do you think it's overstepping technology's mark?
Yeah, like why? I get where it would be useful, 100%. Like if you've got that person that needs an answer straight away, or you've got a problem, and I really could do with this person seeing what I'm seeing right now. I see that that is like that. But yeah, like someone just appearing in front of you and being like, "Hello, welcome." Oh,
but they wouldn't be talking that because it would literally be used. You've got this image of them like a robot, like they just appear.
I know,
it's
but that's
person.
what it conjures in my head. It conjures like Megan vibes. It's just I like
not for it.
No.
I'm not a fan yet, but I could be wrong because
I think it's a great idea.
People would never be able to go on holiday. Imagine, you'd be sunbathing and then you would just be like, hang on a wee minute, let's just get Andrew in because he's the only person that knows this question.
Well, I'm assuming that you would need permission just to be called in.
Yeah, there's lots of things you'd have to think about for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm game for it. I think it's great. It just facilitates the fact that I don't want to talk to anybody when I'm out and about. Like, but it is technically a person, isn't it? I need a robot. Is why. Or nothing at all.
Scares me.
Just let me straight in. Let me do it from my phone. Which actually, let's talk about robots. Now, this is where things get So robotics and mixed reality. So actually looking at research and localizing robots and humans together. So blending that HoloLens idea with kind of, it's not even augmented reality at this point. So your robot effectively goes out, but it's guided or checked on by yourself. So if you looked at it from a housekeeping perspective, so your housekeepers are then effectively robot cleaners.
Yeah.
They go in proper, not these Roomba things. We're talking like a full on robot cleaner that goes in, does the job for you, and it can be checked through the eyes of the robot by someone sat in an office.
It freaks me out so much. I can't
it-
even. It's so
It freaks
weird.
me out, but I
Sorry.
think I don't think we're a million miles away from that already.
We're not.
You know,
We're not.
The technology of looking through the eyes is there now.
Mm-hmm.
The technology of the robot being able to fully function and do everything, we're probably not that far away from that. I don't think that exists yet. Where obviously you've got the wheel ones and the Amazon delivery and ones like that exist, but yeah, I don't think we're a million miles away from that.
So
Scary,
how do you think that would help our marina or park customers though? Like, do you think they'd be up for that, for seeing an army of robots? Like, imagine like a changeover day.
I think you should call it army of robots to start with. I think that just suggests uprising straight away.
No, because obviously we're going to look back on this episode in a few years' time and go, oh, actually, yes. And I think your minds will be changed.
The thing is for me is when it comes to things like this, and I think we've said it quite a lot in these episodes right at the start, is shouldn't replace people.
No.
And something like this replaces people, and I'm not a fan of that.
Same.
Okay.
But then I'm not a business owner who would see the return on that, and that's the difference.
Yeah, that's the difference.
I still very believe in, as we all found out on our customer service episode, that communication is a big thing for me. I still like that, being greeted by a person. I find it a cold and empty place when when that has been replaced by some kind of automation. I do think there is a place for it, but it still really freaks me out about what world. And I think about it in 10 years time, how quickly AI kicked off.
Yeah.
And we all use it every day now. We never would have thought about it before. Never.
No.
Like even 6 months ago, we would have been like, nah, not a fan, wouldn't use it.
Agreed.
It freaks me out a little bit of how advanced this could get. It does.
But could you imagine you've effectively,
it really does.
Say you buy a marina that is, or a park that's quite remote, so it's off a coastline, it's up there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not large enough to warrant a staff member as such. So would at that point you go, right, okay, let's get the robot in, because it's still being guided by the human, still a human element in there because they can see through the eyes, but they can guide out. So imagine you've got a vessel arriving at 3:00. That's the time it's booked onto the dock at. So at 2:30 or 2:00, whenever, this robot automatically goes and does your dock walk for you, reports it back.
Not a fan. Don't like it.
You both work for a tech company, right?
Yeah.
What if they start racing against you? I'm telling you.
Yeah. For me, it's the assistance. To have an assistant, to have a helper, to have, that idea, like you were saying then on a dock walk, if you had something on a wall that could sense people and that could talk to you and give you some prompts and some guides and some assistance, that works for me. To have that completely replaced to somebody doing the walk and because that is, to me, that's replacing a human. And I know it's happening, and I know it is going to happen in the future. Of course it is. But for our industries, I think replacing a human is not a fan of. That is just my personal opinion.
Yeah,
But I think as an
agree.
assistant, yes, but not as a replacement.
Do you know what I think I have the problem with? It's the physical being of it.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I can't get my head around.
Okay, so
is the physical presence of
set your
like
feelings aside for a minute.
I can't though. I'm
well, you
sorry.
would have
It
to,
just
because if this was
freaks
coming
me
in
out.
line, you had to implement this in. This was coming. There was a demand for this. How are we going to make this work for our customers?
It would, for me, from a product perspective, I would be thinking about how could this help and assist
Yes,
the people already on the ground, not how can this become the workforce. That's how I would be thinking, and I would always think about it like
well,
this.
let's take it that way. So we've got our, I'm using housekeeping as the example, but we've got our housekeeping robot. How is that going to assist? And how is it going to link into our tech?
Still freaks me out, just saying.
Get over it. That's the question.
I think it's where, if it can be identified in areas where you've got that one person who's doing 3 or 4 roles and doing 2 or 3 different, have got 2 or 3 different hats, which you find in these industries. It is absolutely the case where somebody's trying to do 2 or 3 things. Exactly what Lisa said is that assistant, that somebody that can help, and someone who can check something while they're over there. So it'd be almost where it's like Copilot. Copilot is an assistant. So if something like this was to come in, it would be that person's assistant to help them with their normal day-to-day tasks.
Yeah.
So if they were going to clean a unit, for example, how could that robot help them in that day and not hinder them and not add more work onto them because they're now managing a little robot that needs charging and
probably less hassle than a person, to be fair.
Yeah.
But what about thinking about it from a solution perspective, like a systems perspective, rather than being that person or that thing, that being the creepy thing that's out doing the physical work?
Yeah.
But facilitating that information coming back in. So a person isn't having to go click ready for check-in, click ready for check-in, or alerting the reception to let them know on a walkie-talkie. I mean, we've there's been so many different ways that people do this. To me, I see tech fitting in that way, like automating that process of being like, right, okay, I now know this side of the park is ready. Maybe do that final spot check. Maybe you set them out to do 5 spot checks in 5 units, 5 like random things. Go and pick 5 random things in there and spot check it to make sure it's set for clean. Then let reception know that it's ready for check-in.
But do you know, I think that's like where that's helped. So you're talking about assisting a housekeeper. So housekeeping are generally the front line for discovering maintenance issues. Yeah, they're obviously not trained in finding weird and wonderful things. There's a bit of damp coming in that they can't see yet. So is that where actually the robot technology, because it's able to analyze fully through a wall, through a hull, through a whatever, that it can start seeing erosion on roofs?
Like diagnostics, potentially.
Exactly.
Yes,
yeah. So every time they're coming in, so rather than replacing the housekeeper, actually they're assisting, carrying out preventive maintenance before anyone would even know that roof's about to come in.
Yeah, and I think I like that side. So if you had them where they were there to do an assessment, carbon monoxide detector, gas detector, all of that type of thing, with the data aspect to it as well, where, because we had the desktop computer, then we had the laptop, and you've obviously still got those, but then you've gone to mobile phone and tablet, where people can go out and they record, like you were saying, Lisa, where you can put in task complete and done that side of it. But where this assistant in the next part is unit 341 complete, and you just say it, the robot picks that up, records it automatically in the system, notifies reception, or I need a maintenance person, no problem, goes and does that. that's that assistant element, not replacing, it's the assistant. So they're able to do the data entry rather than, so they can focus on the task of cleaning the unit, if that's what we're talking about, while as the robot is the one who's recording the information, getting help if required, and also analyzing the area of where they are as well, looking for danger, looking for anything like that, or hazards that they've not necessarily seen.
And I like that conversational side of it as well, where we talk to our phones, we talk to our Alexas or whatever we have in the house, we talk to our cars, like where you'll say, I like that side of it, where you can give it.
You just don't want it running wild.
Yeah,
I don't want it uprising against me. No,
no.
I think you've watched too much iRobot.
Telling you.
Yeah,
it's coming.
But I like
No,
that. I like that idea where you can actually speak to someone, because that helps. Yeah.
And then it offers you that, oh, would you like me to do this instead? I notice you've done this. Would you like me to create this? And you're actually, oh, thanks very much. Yes, I would.
Yeah.
Like that's the side of it that I think is really useful.
Yeah.
Not
Agreed.
Cleaning the unit. That's I still feel that's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's take one that I think
not be messed with.
Okay. Let's take one now, which I think you will hopefully be on board with, which is, now this is in production down the line. They started this in 2020, and this might apply, I think, potentially more to the marina side. They're looking at applying AI to save lives, so it's drones with edge cognitive vision. So can you imagine, over and outside your marina, you are flying robotic drones, which have AI capabilities and a little bit of that technology we were talking about before, where they're able to see. But what they would do is they would report objects that are in the way, people that are in the water, and that sort of same idea. But this time, rather than it being on the floor, it's going to be in the air.
I think that's a great tool. And again, it's an assistant. That is like a mobile eye in the sky idea, isn't it? That's like, maybe it's heat detection. They can detect somebody in the water, like you say. All for that. But what happens after that point that it detects something? I think that's where it's assisted.
Then it calls on the other robots to come and save them.
No. It calls the person. No, I'm joking. But I think that's a good idea. Like that's where it should be being looked at. Where maybe sometimes humans make errors all the time. Like we are only human after all, and anywhere where you can add that extra bit of safety, and it's just an assistant, it's not taking over, but it's just adding, it's just buffering.
So that's same.
Sorry, Cal. I like that idea because again, it's an assistant, and and I don't know whether this is actually here already, but I know you have certain things in cars, but it's just an enhanced camera, isn't it? So if you had a camera system around your marina, for example, and it's just sensing, it's got certain parameters where it's sensing danger and able to alert if, because cars have it now where, I can't remember what the car's make is, but where it can analyze if you've moved out of place in the car, or where if you've fallen asleep and you're not in the right position, it can alert you and get the car to alert you. So and of course it's doing that now with things like lane assist and, not necessarily AI, but that technology is already there. And I think, again, that's not something a human can do. It's not replacing, it's assisting. So I quite like those ideas, because that's just enhancing people's experience.
So thinking about a car though, Calum, I'm interested. Where we think like we've all got lane assist, or if your hands are not on the steering wheel, it beep, 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 beep at you, or if you're too close to something. How would you feel about getting into a car and telling it to take you somewhere like there is out there, and it would just do it for you?
Waymo's coming to the UK this year.
Would you feel comfortable with that? Would you completely trust that, or would your foot be through the floor every 2 minutes? Like,
I'm not.
I think that's
I'm
a
the wrong
really
person to ask
simple
this
way
because,
to look at it.
well, no,
Yeah.
because I'm a bad passenger for anybody, regardless of whether I trust
But
their
that's
driving
about
or not.
trust, though.
Yeah, but I don't trust anyone.
Yeah, but
So how can you trust the robot to go and clean your units then?
yeah.
Because it's not in charge of my life.
Well, as if you
I'm
own
not.
that
I'm not going to get
marine or
pummeled
park,
into
that's
a
your
wall because
life.
it hasn't cleaned the surface 100% right.
I mean, you never know. You could get a really unhappy person. You
Yeah.
never know, that could happen.
What if the
I
robot went
certainly
rogue?
I wouldn't like it. Yeah,
No.
it would make me feel like, oh my god, I'm gonna die.
So, and just to tack on to that last point we're talking about, obviously the flying drone one. They're already we're looking at environmental sustainability reach, which is obviously massive for marinas. They're really, really targeted on bringing that down. So they're creating something called urban air sensing, environmental monitoring, and farm beats, where basically they'll implement air quality sensors, sea state monitoring, so, and wildlife tracking. So in terms of in parks and marinas, how they would use that.
Yeah.
David Bellamy's still a thing, isn't it? It's still going strong, yeah. So actually being able to tell changes in the air quality or your water quality in your marina instantly, and then it's giving you a suggestion on how to fix it.
Yeah.
That you can take on.
And I like all of that. I think that's amazing. I
Love it.
really
So you're
do.
just against the robot
Absolutely.
element of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I'm for it. So that's all that matters. So Lisa, when I phone you and I go, I think we should do a robot for marinas, you're going to go, yes.
No.
No.
I'm super scared.
But
I think it'd be
great. Robots everywhere. I'm all for it. I'd have one.
I know.
Now, robots, so we've got some customers who have the robots in the restaurants that deliver their food to the table. Yeah. That's okay, because again, that for me is an assistant. That's a
Is that not replacing a waiter?
No, because they assist.
No, because it's that right. Got you now because that yes. So you've effectively you order on an app, so you don't talk to a person, you go in, and then I'm assuming that it's the kitchen porter or the chef takes the plate, puts it on the thing, sends it to the thing. No need for a waiter. Defend.
No, they're still there. They're still there helping.
Who has to clean the table? The waiter.
Yeah, the robot doesn't.
But you don't. But you wouldn't need as many.
What if you've got a problem? What if you've got a problem?
Then I would love to send a robot out to deal with a complaint.
Imagine.
I'm waiting for Andrew's response. Sorry on the fact that we've just managed
to cut staff out.
I
haven't got one. I shouldn't have mentioned it. I can't defend that one. But I still feel that's more of an assistant than it is a replacement. I feel. Okay. Whereas
it's a world we're heading into. I think it freaks us. I think it is. Yeah. But do you think you've got to draw the line?
Yeah. Do we need to draw the line, or do we need to? And not I say we, not as us, but as a society, we need to prepare for that next shift where obviously there are going to be jobs are going to be affected and lost as technology advances in part. There are places where we're not going to be able to hold on to. So what do kids need to be looking at as how do they future proof their future?
It's something that's very spoken about quite a lot, actually. Obviously I have kids, like Andrew, you have kids, and it's when you're telling them what do you want to be when you grow up and things, and then you've got people telling them become plumbers, become electricians because AI is taking over. But what you're saying is actually no, that's not the case, because there could be a whole army of other robotics taking that over. So where do they go? At what point do we then go, well, we've completely ruined ourselves, haven't we? Because now
I'm going to be a robot
we've got
driver.
Yeah. I'm going to build
control
them.
robots. Yeah.
But are we on a and this is the end of the world stuff, maybe, or like proper like movie stuff. Are
Just
we
say
getting
thank
to that?
you to them every time you use them. That's gone.
I've shown some of some of my conversations with AI.
He's fast gone.
Are we getting to that point where, work potentially won't be a thing? Are we going to be?
I really hope not. I
can't remember what the
hope
movie is where everyone's just sort of laid on these, like, is it June? No, it's not June. Where everyone's just got like really, really overweight because they're just like buzzing around in floating chairs and they're just being like entertained into their eyes all the time. Brain rot.
Awful.
Yeah. And there is that, there's lots of movies out there that do that, where you just lie down, you put this thing on your face and you're in a different world. And you physically think you are. And that, as I say, we're not a million miles away from that already. It's you still know it's not real, but they're getting better and better and better at making that virtual reality very, very close. But for me, to sum it up, as far as robots and things like that go, is, for me, it's all about an assistant, and it circles back to how we portray, how we use Copilot, and AI, and how we utilize that in our software and in our solutions that we offer, is how that AI researcher, the AI analyst, and the Copilot chat and the Copilot studio, all of those different products, and how they assist the user in getting the best out of their emails, their presentations, their research, rather than replacing that human.
Yeah, I agree. I think you still have to see the individual behind what has been produced, if that makes sense. Like, you can get AI to produce a PowerPoint for you if you're presenting, but for me, I still want that to reflect myself. I want it to help me get to a starting point or get to a specific point. And that's what I feel like most people in the real world do want. They want maybe a helping hand, maybe a point in the right direction, and then they've got that line in the sand and they can build on top of that. I still feel like people and personality and individuality needs a place in this. Like, otherwise, I think everybody's going to have the same thing, and wouldn't that be like the most boring world to live in?
Who would know if you were even in it? Maybe we're in one now. Maybe this is all augmented reality, and we're just at the top.
Could be. Yeah. Someone's going to pull the plug one day.
Sometimes it feels that
way.
All right. I think we will leave it there for today. However, I would love to hear from you guys that are listening and are watching what your thoughts are. You can put them in the comments. And let us know how that sits with you, where you see that technology going, and whether or not you'd be on board to implement that into a park or marina. I'm game if you two are.
I think it's I think from an elite perspective as well, like from our product, it is about assistance. It's not all about the AI. It's not all about the automation. It's about how it can assist you.
Yeah.
I would love somebody to tell me otherwise or have that debate for sure. But for me,
well, I hope they do in the comments.
Yeah.
I need someone to prove me right. Well, it's only in research. It's going to be a couple of years before it even becomes a situation, potentially. Who knows? Everything's moving so fast.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah. All right. Well, from myself, Lisa, and Andrew, we will see you all again in the future with robots.
We're not going to be here next time. It's going to be
I'm going to replace
Robot Andrew.
We'll see you soon.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.